This is Freedom Global News.
Supreme Court fixes date to hear suit on Electoral Act. Nigerian pharmacists lament shortage of pharmaceutical companies in the north. Defense headquarters says over 1,000 terrorists surrender as troops neutralize scores of and rescue hostages in the northeast. And on the foreign scene in Rwanda to get first batch of asylum seekers from the United Kingdom this May.
This is Freedom Global News.
Good evening, you listen to Freedom Global News on 99.5 FM. I am Hauwa Adamu Kiyawa. Today's the 19th of May 2022, which is equivalent to the 18th of Shawwal 1443 after Hijri. And now the news in full. The Supreme Court has granted the Rivers State Act. The hearing in the suit has been fixed for May 26th. The Supreme Court fixed the date after joining River State as an interested party. Justice Muhammad Dikko adjourned the matter following the concession by Buhari's lawyer Lateef Fagbemi that the Speaker, River State House of Assembly and Attorney General, River State be joined as parties. It could be recalled that President Buhari and the Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, had filed a suit at the Supreme Court seeking an interpretation of Section 84, subsection 12 of the Electoral Amendment Act 2022. In the suit filed on April 29th, the President and the AGF, who are the plaintiffs, listed the National Assembly as the sole defendant. They're seeking an order of the Apex Court to strike out the section of the Electoral Act, saying it is inconsistent with the nation's constitution. President Buhari and Malami also contended that the constitution already provides qualification and disqualification for the offices of the President and Vice President, Governor and Deputy Governor, Senate and House of Representatives, House of Assembly, Ministers, Commissioners, and special advisors. In the same vein, the National Assembly has asked the Supreme Court to strike out the suit instituted by President Buhari. The National Assembly, in its counter affidavit filed by its lawyer, Kayode Ajulo, said the Supreme Court cannot be invoked to amend the provision of any law validity made by lawmakers in the exercise of their legislative powers as granted by the Constitution. They argued that the 1999 Constitution, as amended, gave the National Assembly the power to make laws for good governance in Nigeria. The Association of Industrial Pharmacists of Nigeria said the biggest challenge facing the northern part of the country is the current shortage of pharmaceutical companies. The chairman of the Governing Council, Professor Ahmed Tijani Mura, stated this today at the 12th annual symposium and business summit of the association held in Kano. Correspondent Safarao Tijani Adam reports.
The chairman of the Governing Council, Professor Ahmed Tijani Mura, said it is a challenge for pharmaceutical companies in Kano to find entrepreneurs who will buy their product for the benefits of the people. He noted that it is a shame that some Kano companies from other states have to wait for the drug to be delivered, adding that there is a need to fix the problem. Professor Ahmed Tijani said it will be great pain to have pharmaceutical company here in Kano, which will play an important role in the development of the state.
It is very serious, and it actually borders on medicine securities. In the northern part of the country and the FCT, I think there are only 2 states that can be said to be doing well. This state, Kano State, with about 5-6 pharmaceutical manufacturing facilities, and Kwara State. And I should know the numbers, being the chairman of the Pharmacist Council. There wasn't a single state with any pharmaceutical manufacturing facility, whether owned by the government or privately owned. The quality of the products are not in doubt, because for you to be a manufacturer of pharmaceutical products, there are 2 agencies that will have to inspect the facilities.
In his remark, pharmacist Hisham Imamuddin, who represented the Commissioner for Health, Dr. Amin Ibrahim Zenyawa, said there was a need for pharmaceutical companies to be more proactive in ensuring effective treatment and the prevention of drug abuse.
On a yearly basis, we conduct what you call a price survey. Price survey tells us the difference between the price that we get drugs in the government and those that we have outside. And on a yearly basis, for us to ensure that there is a continuum of drug supply scheme in the state, a process of massive procurement of drugs in the state. Right now, we are into that process.
The chairman of NAIP, Ken Inwembu, said the main reason for the current high price is the shortage of pharmaceutical companies in the north.
So that we can be rest assured that we have what we call drug or medicine security in the country and achieve self-sufficiency so that we don't depend 80 or 90% to imported products. That is one. Two, we also want as many companies who does not have what it takes to establish a new pharmaceutical company to have access to local through contract.
During the event, the stakeholders spoke on the challenges they face and that solutions are being developed, which include raising awareness of pharmacists as well as stakeholders. Safara Utijan Adam, Freedom Radio.
The Kano State government said it has spent more than 14 million naira and more than 5,900 pregnant women, as well as accident and emergency victims across the state. The director of pharmaceuticals at the Kano State Hospitals Management Board, Dr. Mudi Hamza, stated this during the distribution of medicine by the commission.
5,926 for the month of April 2022 and about 294 cesarean sections in the various secondary healthcare facilities across the state. This number, a total of about 14 million naira was expended in procuring and the distribution of this commodity to the good people of Kano State. We are achieving much.
Alhaji Salisu Durham, the deputy head of the emergency department of the Abdullahi Wasi Teaching Hospital, noted that there's been a decline in accidents in the state as well.
It is the responsibility of this committee for accident and emergency to make sure that the drugs and commodities being procured by the government are distributed to all the facilities that have the accident and emergency centers. And it is also the responsibility of the committee to follow up to all these facilities and make sure that these drugs are being utilized. And when you visit some of these facilities, you will find out that they have a register, because we used to go to supervise and inspect and find out how much they have used the drugs.
Correspondent Safara Tijana Adam reports that contraceptives and first aid kits were distributed at hospitals in the state. On the sporting arena, Minister of Youth and Sports Development, Sunday Dare, has tasked the Nigerian Volleyball Federation to put up structures that will enable grassroots development of the game in order to ensure its growth and upward trajectory. Correspondent Mohammed San Uba has details of this and other sports updates.
The Federation of International for Volleyball and Confederation of African Volleyball President of Nigeria Olympic Committee, Engineer Habu Gumel, who is a member of the committee, were all led by the President Nigeria Volleyball Federation, Musa Nimorot, at Abuja when this charge was made by Sunday Diary. The minister further beseeched the federation to commit to developing more interest in the game in schools and colleges to ensure Nigeria is shot to the apex of glory in the sport. In another development, the Federal Ministry of Youth and Sport Development has concluded arrangement to hold the Made in Nigeria Under-18 Basketball Championships in the country with a view to ensuring more youth participation in sports, especially in the game of basketball. The competition, which targets youth at the grassroots, will commence with zonal elimination among 36 states of the Federation in FCT Abuja between May 27 and 30, after which winners and the first runners-up emerging from the zones will proceed to Abuja for the finals, coming up between June 3 and 8. In another update, Amnesty International has urged world governing body FIFA to set up a compensation fund for at least $440 million for migrant workers who have suffered human rights abuses during preparation for the Qatar World Cup. Amnesty International made the request in a letter to FIFA President Gianni Infantino. The letter stated that until all workers are compensated, the tournament cannot be truly celebrated. Amnesty International's UK Chief Executive Sasha Desmond said thousands of migrant workers have been exploited and many have tragically died to make this World Cup possible. Similarly, the 2022 World Cup will include female referees for the the first time at a major men's international tournament, with Michelle Oliver and Anthony Taylor also selected to officiate. Muhammad Sanu Uba, Freedom Radio.
The global news is coming to you from Freedom Radio 99.5 FM. You can send your comments, opinions, and watch us live on Freedom Radio Nigeria on Facebook.com. You can get the link to the page on our website, freedomradionig.com.
Freedom, 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 freedom.
Welcome back. You're still listening to Freedom Global News on 99.5 FM. The Defense Headquarters says troops of Operation Hatinkai have neutralized 43 terrorists, arrested 20 and rescued 63 kidnapped victims across the northeast within 3 weeks. The Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Bernard Onyeku, said this while briefing newsmen on the operations of the armed forces between April 28th and May 19th today in Abuja. Onyeku also said that 1,627 Boko Haram terrorists and their families, comprising 331 men, 441 women, and 855 children, surrendered to the troops at different locations between May 1st and May 14th. He said that 53,262 had so far surrendered as at May 16th. Consequently, during these operations, troops rescued 63 civilians, neutralized 42 terrorists, and arrested 20 terrorists. He noted that the armed forces of Nigeria is determined to bring peace back to the country while saluting the courage and sacrifices by its troops in the field. And on business, we have Muhammad Abba Abdullahi with updates.
The World Bank says it is set to disburse a total of $30 billion to fund existing and new projects in Nigeria and other countries as part of a global response to combat the ongoing food security crisis. According to the bank, it is working with countries on a $12 billion new project funds for the next 15 months. It stated that the projects are expected to support existing and new projects in agriculture, nutrition, social protection, water, and irrigation. Meanwhile, the Nigerian Export Promotion Council, NEPC, has sensitized 150 traders in Kano on its domestic export warehouse, DEW, introduced to ease the means of exporting local goods to global markets. The sensitization workshop took place in Kano and gathered exporters from across exportable commodities within the states. The executive director of the council, Dr. Israel Kusek, said the idea of the domestic export warehouse, DEW, was to address challenges faced by exporters while exporting their products abroad, which posed many threats to their businesses. Moving to the Bureau de Change, today $1 traded for 599, €1 for 785, British pound for 730 naira, while Saudi Riyal 155 naira. On the price of commodities at the Wano market in Kano, one bag of maize goes for 20,000 naira, Guinea corn for 19,500 naira, and millet traded for 24,000 naira. Muhammad Abba Abdullahi, Freedom Radio.
Meanwhile, the Institute for Agriculture and Research Center said it has developed a genetically modified maize known as Taylor maize, which will improve Nigerian farmers' economic losses from insect and pests and drought up to 9 billion naira. The executive director of the institute, Professor Muhammad Isiaka, stated this at a workshop and sensitization on new seed for maize in Minjibur local government area of Kano State. Correspondent Aisha Muhammad Edliman reports.
The Executive Director of the Institute for Agriculture and Research Center, Professor Muhammad Isiaku, further said the new maize seed will tolerate drought and also increase farmers' production by 90% even with little rain.
Institute for Agricultural Research is about releasing a new variety of maize that is resistant to stem borers and fall armyworm. Fall armyworm and stem borers are a group of insects that feed on leaves of maize and also the heart, the growing part of maize, such that
indicated on his part the principal investigator of Taylor Maize Nigeria, Professor Hauwa Adamu, that the trial started in Nigeria in 2019 with a view to mitigate the challenges of insect infestation.
highly improved maize variety bred to tolerate moderate drought and resist fall armyworm and stem borers. These two key constraints reduce maize yield significantly. So these varieties and hybrids were certain on tolerate these two constraints and they could guarantee reliable harvest.
One of the farmers shares his view with Freedom Radio on the development.
Based on what you saw on the feed, the farmer doesn't need to spray like the way they used to do. With this Bella maize and then with a good potential yield, then the sky is limit. So we advise to all farmers is to embrace it, adopt it, and then cultivate it so that we increase the production, not only production, but also the productivity per unit area will also increase. And then it will translate to high income farmers. And this will also serve as also employment opportunity for youth.
Currently, Nigeria produces only about 12 million metric tons of maize.
That's all we can take. And on the foreign scene, Rwanda's government says it expects the first group of 50 asylum seekers to be transferred from the United Kingdom by the end of May. In April, the United Kingdom government announced plans to send people seeking asylum to the East African country, but earlier this month it said it expected lawyers to lodge complaints to prevent their removal. And with this, we've come to the end of today's Global News. On behalf of the entire production team, I am Hauwa Adamu Kiyawa. Have a wonderful evening.
This is Freedom Global News.